Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with the best of the best, Mr. Jason Pritchard. How you doing, sir?
I am doing great. Zuber, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I've been looking forward to this conversation since I heard you were
Same.
going to this amazing place.
Same here, man. I knew we were going to
Uh,
talk about it.
yeah. So, I'm not going to say it. I'll let you tell folks where you spent. I think it was 10 days. Might have been more. But this is actually a part of the world that I have toyed with the idea of going. Damn, could I spend 90 days somewhere? Right? Because I've only lived in California.
Yeah.
I would
Yep.
love to have a spot where I could go camp out for 90 days at a time, 6 months a year. It's a great place. It's just always seemed to make sense to me. It's
Yeah.
cheaper. It's a cheaper place, a lot of
Yeah.
amazing people. And I hear the internet and Wi-Fi connection is awesome, which would be
Yeah.
important for me.
Yep.
So I got to ask, where'd you go? Tell us about it. And then could Jason really run his business from this crazy spot on the planet? Let's go.
Yeah. So my wife, Jen, and I just got back about 2 weeks ago from it was a 12 or 13-day trip to Bali.
Mm.
And so this has been on our bucket list for a while. And a number of years ago, Jennifer and I set the intention of saying once a quarter, we want to take a trip somewhere. Right. And we've been able to go to some amazing places. And it was funny reflecting on the way back from the trip. I think we both feel like Bali is probably our favorite spot for a lot of reasons, and we'll dive into it. But it was just overall, it was amazing, man. There's so many cool things to see and do. That was what was really cool. The culture and just all of the history and the vibe over there was really, really amazing. The people were super nice. The nicest people I think that we've met when we've gone to visit other countries. Just everybody had a great disposition, very friendly and welcoming. Amazing food, amazing culture. Just overall, it was cool. And then a lot of opportunities to invest. And there's a lot of people that they call them digital nomads. That's kind of the saying out there, where they're
Mm-hmm.
foreign investors that come and, like you said, they live there either full time or for big chunks of the year, and they run and operate their business from there. And yeah, it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah. So one of the things that was really interesting. So you stated, because again, you and Jen, I think I think you were at three different locations. Not that I stalk you on Instagram,
Yep.
but I stalk you on Instagram.
Yep.
But the one in the middle, you stayed at what I'm going to call an Airbnb. I don't know if it was VRBO or whatnot, but you stayed at a home. And I
Yep.
remember you walking through this place that looked like an estate of just a gorgeous estate. And then I think you said in you like you did a like, what do you think this thing costs at
Yeah.
A, B, C, and I'm still shocked that at the number that this thing costs. So tell us about the Airbnb, the spot you stayed in all of that.
Yeah, so we did. So we ended up splitting the time over a couple of different hotels, and we squeezed in this really nice Airbnb. So the hotels we stayed on points, and then we splurged a little bit on the Airbnb for a couple of days. And so when we got there, I mean, on the pictures, the place looked amazing, but even the pictures didn't do it justice.
Oh wow!
I mean, yeah,
Sometimes you get pictures like, oh, this place, that's the best angle.
I mean, yeah, it was. And then we got there, and it was just like it even exceeded our expectations. And
Wow.
so, yeah, when we got there, you have your own butler there, and so I got friendly with the butler, and just me being, with my real estate mind, I was asking him like, dude, who owns this place? How much do you rent it out? How busy are you guys? How much does it cost to build this place? And so if you go back and look at our page, I posted some content from when we were out there.
Mm-hmm.
And this place here in Fresno, and Fresno, it is starting to become more expensive, but it's definitely not the Bay Area or LA. This place would have cost $3 or $4 million to build
In
here
Fresno,
in
it would have
Fresno.
been
Yes.
12 or 13 million where I live.
No, it's insane. I mean, it was like 5,000 square feet, crazy infinity pool. It had a gym, it had a yoga studio, it had a massage room. It was like 6 bedrooms, just unbelievable. Everything custom, top to bottom.
Mm.
And I put up the poll on my thing, and option A was 450,000, option B was 1.4, and then option C was like 4.5 million, and it was 450,000, believe it or not, to build the house on the land there. And so
Yeah,
that got my gears cranking, man.
I
Like
bet
that,
you it did. You're like,
yeah.
huh?
450 grand. I mean,
I
was
can
like,
write
I could
that check
sell right now. I was like, if I wanted to, I could sell a couple like non-performing rentals with equity and then roll it over here, and I'm done. And I own this place cash, man. And so it was very interesting. We actually then, because the guy was super cool, he took us, because we were on this road where basically it was all just Airbnbs that were being built.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed us different ones. And the one that we had was huge. But then we went to other ones that were like 3-bed, 2-bath, same kind of feel, like super custom, really nice. But those were like $180,000, $200,000 with all the bells and whistles for just a smaller building.
You're like, dude, I could turn my piggy bank over and find that.
It
place.
was crazy, man. And so you really do start thinking about like, wow, like what would it take to own a property out here if I wanted to come out here and work for 30 or 60 days or more? Like, how do you make that feasible? So yeah, man, I'm happy to share with you. Like, I sat down with a real estate company that while we were out there that helps foreign investors. And so we talked through some of the different options that they have. And it would definitely be something that I would think about possibly doing in the future, man.
Yeah. So I've looked at Bali. It's been, it's been on my, I just think there's a lot of possibilities there.
Yep.
I do know that you don't own the land. At least I believe that's true.
There's a couple different options. What most foreign investors do, and again, I'm not an expert at this.
Yeah,
guys,
we're
so
just
anything that I tell
we're just
you right
looking
now.
now.
This is conversational. Make sure you talk to somebody that's an expert about it. But
exactly.
The way they explained it to me is what most foreign investors do is they do typically like a 25 or a 30-year land lease, and then they pay for the construction. So there's a cost associated with leasing the land every year, and then you pay to have your property built. That's option A. Option B is there are some additional hoops that you have to jump through with the government there in Bali where you can form a foreign-owned company or a foreign-owned LLC. And once you jump through those hoops, and again, I'm not even going to try to sit and talk through what those hoops are, you can then, if you want to buy the land and own it, you can. But based off the conversation I had with the people at the real estate company that I was at that worked with a lot of foreign investors, most people just do the 30-year lease. And then they pay for the construction, and you can still sell that later on. You can sell your interest in the building and transfer that lease to somebody else if you want to. So there's a way to exit and then transfer that to somebody else.
And then
that's what typically
the one question I've always had is, I plan to live longer than 30 years. What happens at the end of 30 years? Does the contract
you just renew?
So they don't just take the building. There's a contract that says for another 30 years you can spell
it out. After that. So you can typically just renew it or re-up it. And I'm sure
some increased fee. Yeah. So again, it's not like they're going to take the building from you in 30 years.
Yeah. What I would do for me, because it would be hard for me to imagine where we're at. Our business is virtual. Like where you guys see me working, this is my home office and I work from home. We've got 8 people on our team. I've got 3 people that are local to the Fresno market. They all work from home. And then we've got 5 other virtual team members. And so it was hard for me to imagine prior COVID even thinking to something like this. But as soon as COVID hit and we shifted and pivoted our business to working more of a virtual model where we work from home, I mean, we could, if I really wanted to, spend 30 to 60 days out there and still run and function our business day to day. I mean, the only real issue for me, I think, would be the time difference. I think we're 13 hours or 15-hour time difference.
You would figure it out.
Yeah, but yes, you would absolutely figure it out if you needed to. So 100%, right? And so I think it really does get the gears cranking in your head. And so what I would do, and you and I were messaging about this, is you get 1, maybe 2 other people, you all pitch in to do it because you're not really going to be there all year round.
It's not a year long. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Just get 1 or 2 guys or families and just agree on what you want to get.
Yeah, you mitigate your risk. You kind of reduce some of your initial investment. Everybody puts in $100K or whatever the number is, right?
Yeah.
And you go do it. And when we're not using it, you make it available on Airbnb. The place that we were at was, the guy showed me their calendar. They were booked 91% of the month of August. I mean, literally almost every single day was booked out. And
I have to ask, what was that? What was that a night? That place was
$650 a night. Yeah.
I would, if you would have asked me to guess, I would have guessed over $1,000.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think we got it on the low end of the range. I think their typical rate was like 9 something or something like that.
And you could probably 20 people in there?
Yeah, no, I have 15, but it was 6 individual bedrooms with 6 bathrooms. So it was really built for a larger group to go to. So Jen and I were just kind of splurging. It was just the 2 of us when we went.
2 people rattling around like, where are you, Jen?
Yeah, exactly. But we could have very easily done what he said, what even a better investment were some of those smaller ones, right? Where you spend, instead of $450,000, you spend $250 or $200 and you get a 3 or a 4 bedroom with a pool, and it's still just as nice. We looked at 3 or 4 of them that were right there on the street that were same quality finish work, just as nice, just not as big. You know what I mean? And we didn't use half the damn space in there. It was just, you know, kind of
like,
cool
oh shit, I found a new room.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, overall it was cool, man. And it's very doable. And a question I would encourage you guys that are at home that I'm constantly asking myself is, why not me? Why can't I do this? Every Airbnb out there that we looked at was owned by a foreign investor. It wasn't like they were owned by local Balinese people. So it was just like, these people are doing it. Let's just figure out what's required to do it and then reverse engineer the steps there and come up with a game plan if that's what we want to do.
Yeah. And again, how you obviously did some work. I saw in your post you were doing a couple hours a day. How was internet connection?
Internet connection was great. We didn't have any issues at all. We were doing Zoom call, all the stuff that I needed to do that we normally do here, I was able to do when I wanted to do it, and I didn't have any issues. So I think, I think it's infrastructure is not really a problem. Internet wasn't really a problem. I mean, it was good.
Food was awesome. People were awesome. Sights to see. You guys did some amazing stuff. At this point, I got to ask, why not? Why not spend? To me, I think 30 days at a time, because it's a haul on an airplane.
It is. It is. Right? And it is. The thing that I liked about Bali versus even like a place like Maldives is it is like ridiculously inexpensive. Everything. I mean, everything is so affordable out there compared to other places that we've traveled. And so, I mean, you can literally live like a king out there for not very much money, man. And
yeah, you were a billionaire, right? You went to an
it was crazy. It's like the exchange rate over there is so wild. Like you cash in 200 US and you get $3 million in Balinese rupees or Indonesian rupees. So yeah, it's definitely something that I would think about in the future, man. Yeah, for sure.
Why not us? I think that's an amazing thing. So again, folks, if you're not following Jason Pritchard, and let's give his wife Jen Pritchard a shout out, you're missing out. They live authentically. They are go-givers. They're helping. They live the real, the good and the bad. Jason, where can they find you?
The best place to find me, guys, is either Instagram or Facebook. I'm pretty active on both of those platforms. I answer all of my messages personally on there. So if you follow me on there and you see any of this stuff that we're doing, questions about it, I'd love to be a resource for you. So just shoot me a DM and I will get back to you. Folks,
let's blow up his IG page. Ask him questions about Bali, what he liked, what he didn't like, anything. Let's show Jason some love. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.